Do you find that when you tell people that you are a trader or want to become a trader, they don't think that you have a real job and they think that you might be a bit lucky because you can work from home or just work on a computer? I want to talk about that because I've experienced that a lot myself in the last week. Let's get into it more right now. Hey traders, it's Andrew Mitchem here, the owner of the Forex Trading Coach, with video and podcast number 603. I want to talk about the human psyche. I find it really interesting, fascinating. You see, when I started trading some 20 years ago, I had a very young son at the time, and I'd finished being a dairy farmer because of divorce, and people looked at me a little bit strange. They thought that I was starting this sort of, what was I doing? I meant to be looking after my young son. I didn't have a real job. I was doing this weird, strange thing called trading on the computer. And I think a lot of people, just looked at me a little bit sideways and thought, this guy's just lost the plot here. Why doesn't he go and get a real job? And then fast forward some, 20 plus years later. And after just spending the last 4 weeks in the US on holiday with my wife for her 50th birthday, the amount of comments that I've had either in person or online or email from people to say, you're so lucky you can do that. And I just find it fascinating. Like, lucky, how is like trading lucky? I don't quite get it. But people just think that because, you're either sitting at home on a computer or like we've just done, just spent 4 weeks traveling around on a road trip around the US, they think that you're lucky. And I find it absolutely incredible. And I'm sure if you've been trading for any length of time, you probably understand what I mean. So I'd like just to sort of set the record straight about what good trading is. If you trade, you will know. And if you're starting to trade or looking to trade, you need to know this. Good trading's not easy. Good trading takes a lot of time, investment in yourself, both monetary and time-wise, a lot of frustration, a lot of going around in circles. And it's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it, wouldn't they? And if it was easy to make lots of money, everybody would be doing it. But the trouble is, most people are just lazy, and that's just the honest truth. Hard work, dedication, commitment, effort, those type of things, sadly, a lot of people lack these days. Now, I had to think about this when I was just thinking about putting the video together. And I thought about the things that I've personally done, and the enjoyable things and how hard they are. So back when I was a teenager, I was a reasonably good cricket player. Couldn't bat, but I could bowl pretty reasonably well, and I played at a quite a decent level for my age. Never good enough to become remotely close to become a professional cricketer, but I was the next level down, and for a little while, and pretty good. So when I look back at that, my whole life back then revolved around just playing cricket, talking cricket, eating, sleeping cricket. That's all I did. I love cricket. I still love cricket. And the time, the effort, the commitment that went into it was huge. And then fast forward a number of years later, I decided to up and leave England, and in my early 20s, moved to the other side of the world, the strange place that most people had never heard of called New Zealand. And, again, time, commitment, money, effort, to do that, and quite a bit of the unknown. And people go, oh, you had a crystal ball because New Zealand's amazing and Europe and England are going to pieces. And it's like, well, I kind of just had to think about these things and make my own decision, and do what you feel is right. And so that was interesting. And then fast forward a number of years after that, I got into karate in quite a big way, and again, time, effort, commitment, pain. When you're into that karate at that level, I was teaching people as well. And all my kids went through karate, and just purely as a voluntary basis, the teaching. And, it was just a lot of time and commitment, a lot of travel, a lot of monetary commitment when you've got 5 kids. And, that's another thing that I got huge reward out of and loved it. Fast forward a few more years later, learning to fly a helicopter, one of the most hardest, potentially dangerous things you can do. but the reward is incredible. You know, we've seen parts of New Zealand and flown over places that most people will never, ever get to see in their lives. And so extraordinary achievement and places that you get to see and experiences you get out of it. But if someone says, oh, you're lucky to fly a helicopter, it just blows my mind that people can think that stupidly. It's not lucky. It's time, it's commitment, it's money, it's investment. It's, you know, giving up other things to pursue that excellence of flying a helicopter. And right now I'm learning to play a guitar and learning to sing, something that I've never, ever done in my life in 50 years, those two things. And, you know, I've been playing guitar for nearly 3 years, learning to sing this year. Both hard, take time, commitment, effort. If you know anything musical, you know what I mean. And so you bring all this back together and you look at it and people go, oh, you're just so lucky that you can trade and travel. Aren't you lucky? No. It's not like at all. It's a decision to do something. It's a decision to get off your bum. It's a decision to invest in yourself and your family and your financial and time and freedom going forward. So that's my little, I suppose, rant for this week. A little bit different, but it's just I wanted to bring this up because I think it's important to talk about these things. You know, we're not talking about candles and Bollinger Bands and things like that today, but it's another part of trading that's really important to understand and be aware of. So I think that's just something that's, you know, topical, and wanted to bring that to your attention. So I suppose my question after all that is, what are you going to do about it yourself? Are you just going to keep surfing through YouTube? Are you just going to keep, you know, looking online for stuff and just go round and round in circles? Or are you going to make a commitment to invest in your time, yourself, your future, and jump on board? You know where we are. We've been doing this for over 16 years, clients in 109 countries. I don't think there's many Forex educators out there that can honestly say that. I don't know of any. So there may be one or two, but I actually don't know of anybody who's still around now teaching and helping people, who was in, you know, helping and teaching people back when I started. So that shows our commitment and effort and daily dedication that we put into making this work for our clients. If you'd like to find out more, I do have a short 17-minute masterclass that you can jump onto. I'll put a link to that here. If you'd like to talk to myself or one of the team, I'll put a link to that as well. If you'd like to find out about the new pricing structure that we launched last week, send me an email, andrew@theforextradingcoach.com, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you're out there looking for a really good Forex broker that you can trade Forex, metals, commodities, indices, cryptos, have a look at Blueberry Markets, and I'll put a link to them here as well. So once again, this is Andrew Mitchem at the Forex Trading Coach, enjoying the great outside, and you take care. I'll see you this time next week. Bye for now.